everybody, I'm Beebs Kelley. Welcome to my second channel. So I have come to the decision to make a second channel and move some of my content around a little bit. And there's lots of reasons for it, but one of them is simply because I've been sort of confusing the algorithm a little bit, and I totally understand why. You know, we talk a lot about celebrity stuff, royal family stuff, Meghan and Harry stuff, and the PR side of it. A lot of Meghan and Harry content, yes, because in part it's popular, and I think a lot of people see patterns of behavior in Meghan and Harry that they've experienced and been on the receiving end of in real life. And so there's almost like this element of a sort of therapeutic side to observing and chatting about what's going on with Harry and Meghan, because they do try to gaslight and they do try to just move on like they never did any of the bad things that they did. And a lot of us have been through that in relationships, and it can be relieving to see that, oh yes, other people see this and think it's weird too, or other people see these mistakes or what have you. So there is a lot of Meghan and Harry content over there, but we do like to talk about other things. I never intended to start a channel that focused so heavily on Harry and Meghan. They do a lot. They put themselves out there a lot. So there's been more of that. And because of that, the algorithm gets very confused on who to recommend fashion editions to, for example. And so I thought I'd move fashion editions and like beauty and makeup and stuff like that. I used to do videos about that stuff quite a bit, like styling stuff, skincare, makeup products, things like that, just that sort of a thing. Because I do have a background in that, I have some knowledge in that. I'm technically, even though I don't do it as my job, a cosmetologist and esthetologist and makeup artist. So I love sharing that knowledge and the techniques and just being able to share with you products that I think are actually really great and I have tested for a long amount of time. And so I've always found that to be really fun, and I enjoy making those videos. But unfortunately, over on my other channel, it just is confusing for YouTube. And I get why. Like, of course that would be confusing to a computer on what is this video all of a sudden and who is supposed to want to watch this. So I've decided to move some of that type of content over here to this new channel. My original channel is going to stay the same in terms of discussing PR stuff, some fashion editions probably if it's relevant, like Meghan or the royal family, Catherine, Princess of Wales. We'll probably keep some of those fashion subjects over there. But for the most part, I've decided to let that channel stay focused on the way it has been lately, where it's more analysis of some of the stuff that's been going on with the Sussexes, with the royals, celebrity controversies, stuff like that's going to stay there. This channel, though, because it is its own space, I'm excited to be able to explore a different tone, a little bit more personal, a little bit more relaxed, a little bit less edited, which means there will be some more mistakes probably. But I'm excited to have the opportunity to have a channel that can be a little bit more personal, because like I'm not a social media person, I never have been. But when I started the YouTube channel, I'll be completely honest, when I first started YouTube, it was with the intention of making it a job for myself. I wanted to be able to have a stay-at-home job so that I could work around my kids, around their schedule, work after they go to bed or when they're busy with other things or what have you. And I could still really prioritize them and always be available to them, because my like dream concept was always to just be stay-at-home mom while they're little. And there came a point where it was like, you know, I needed to be able to help support my family, and I thought I would give YouTube a chance, because it seemed like if it worked and I could make it a job, it would be everything I needed in terms of being flexible and being able to still, you know, prioritize the kids and work from home. And so I was very goal-oriented when I started my YouTube channel, and that's part of what led me to the subject matters that I discussed, and not just that I had experience in them and could use my education and things like that. It wasn't just that that was something that I knew about and a subject that I could offer an analysis on. It was also that the Sussex stuff really is a popular subject to discuss for the reasons I said before, that it's one of those things that I think hits home for a lot of people, and you recognize stuff in that, and it can feel so isolating and confusing when you're dealing with it in real life, that I think sometimes part of the draw to watch what's going on with Harry and Meghan, of course, has to do with like that watching a train wreck happen sort of a situation where you can't quite peel your eyes away, but also that element of being able to talk with other people who also think this is weird. Because I think a lot of the times when, at least for me, when I was watching stuff going on with Harry and Meghan, because I started paying attention to Catherine, Princess of Wales, more closely once she started having kids, because I was also having kids around the same time. And I really, really liked her. And I liked the early years stuff and the Shaping Us campaign and things like that she did. The early childhood advocacy that she does is something that I'm also interested in part because like I have kids, so I feel a responsibility to learn about these subjects, but I also find them very interesting. I come from a family with a lot of teachers and educators, and so it's something that I definitely have always paid close attention to, and so finding out that she also does a lot of that, I think made me more interested to see what she was doing in her work there, and I respect that about her. I also, of course, always thought Queen Elizabeth was just fabulous. I remember doing like a report on her in school because we had to pick somebody who was like a role model or what have you. So they've always been a little bit on my radar, but definitely Catherine was the one who kind of made me pay closer attention. So then when everything started happening with the Sussexes, with Meghan and with Harry, I thought it was strange. And I would come to social media or internet, comment sections and videos to try to figure out like if I was reading the situation wrong and try to learn about it and figure out why is this coming across so strange to me, apart from the obvious PR errors. It was like, am I missing something here? Why would someone make such a terrible mistake with their public relations? Why? And so I think a lot of people came to these spaces on YouTube and other places because they were confused and sort of checking themselves like, wait, am I the only one who thinks this is strange or not? And no, all of us think it's weird. And so I think that there's an element of community in that definitely ties into sort of a bigger picture situation or things that we've experienced in our lives. So anyway, the point is, when I decided to start a channel, then I thought, well, I've paid attention to the Meghan and Harry saga. There's lots of great analysis that I can do and offer some of my background knowledge in these things when it comes to, her outfits, her presentation, the PR side of stuff. And it's one of those topics that people are curious about and interested in. So it allows you to have those stimulating conversations. And so it worked out great. Even though it wasn't my intention for it to be so heavily focused on Meghan and Harry, I understand what happens with the YouTube algorithm, and the computer system there can only do so much. It can only figure out so much. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to just sort of explore a second channel for some of the more casual content and some of the more interest-based content of styling, makeup, skincare and hair care products, that sort of a thing that I originally had incorporated into my channel just really regularly. At least once a week, I had a only fashion-focused fashion edition, and oftentimes would have styling tutorials, makeup tutorials, talk to you about skincare products and stuff like that. Just every month there was a few videos like that. And I just was noticing that the algorithm and those videos, the performance and stuff just wasn't aligning, and I understand why. So that was my motivation for creating this second channel. But when I started thinking about it, I do tend to overanalyze a little bit, but I thought, why not make it a little bit more casual and personal so that, some of these people who I have met in the comments section over on the original channel, you guys are great. This has become one of my favorite parts of the job, is this sense of community and the comment section discussions. They're so stimulating. You guys have such great points and takes on things and great facts to share that I didn't know. And I love that. And I love the sense of community there and the almost collaborative feel sometimes of hearing what you guys are thinking about these things and all of that. So I just really like that, and it feels very supportive, and I love that. So I thought having a little bit more of a personal tone over here would be kind of nice. So I'll be sharing a little bit more of my personal life as well as just general, just kind of whatever I want, I guess. This will be a channel to talk about whatever we want to talk about and to be a little bit more personal. I know a lot of people who have stuck with me or found my channel early on and have been with me throughout this last few years have seen a lot of different things going on, and there's been a lot more behind the scenes that has happened. So there's just lots to share and to tell you more about, and things that you guys have been curious about and want to know more about, namely things like makeup tutorials, styling stuff. You guys often ask me very specific styling questions, and I feel like this channel will be a lot better of a format to address those, and we'll keep it in this category that will make more sense for the YouTube algorithm as well, and allow the other channel to kind of stay the same and stay focused on the subject matter that is typically featured on my original channel. So that's my spiel. That's what's happening. That is the announcement, and hopefully you will enjoy it and subscribe if you want to. If you're interested in that sort of a thing, or you liked having that balance over on my other channel of those two separate types of content, then subscribe here, because just some of it's going to be here and some of it's going to be there, and we'll just be bouncing back and forth. Hopefully it won't be too much to manage, and hopefully it'll be fun and happy for everyone. Thank you for joining me for today's announcement. I hope you have a happy day ahead, and I will see you very soon. Bye.